How do you know your content has the right vibe, energy to it? The right frequency. So this is something I've been thinking a lot about this past year. Last summer, I decided to uncoach myself, unlearn everything, strip it all away so that I could rebuild from the ground up. And I did a lot of experimentation. And since then, I have found some really cool things about myself, things that work with other people. And it led me to meeting some other human design and teachers who are uncovering some really cool stuff that confirmed things I was finding on my own. So super cool. So I've been studying my human design for a couple years now, and I was experimenting without really, I was in programs to learn it that I have, and I'm still in programs. I anticipate I'll be in programs for a while. I want to learn everything about it, but I was using it to self-study, to find my way through writing content. And not that I don't use strategies, because I do. I use that. But the problem with all the strategies is they assumed I was something that I was not. They never took me into account. So no matter whether or not I followed the strategy, it never had my vibe. And as an entrepreneur or a creator or, one business person, solo business person, that you are selling you. You sell your services. Whatever it is that you're doing, you're selling you. Just like how a company sells their lifestyle, what they stand for, their values and everything, right? You're selling you. So yeah, it's got to vibe with you. 100% it's got to feel like you. So I want to share with you where I am now. I'm going to fast forward to today. We're going to be going back and forth between like a year ago and today. And now I create reports for other people using human design, and it's all based off of the centers for the most part. I'm in love with the centers. So let me show you like the centers, what that means in case you're new to human design. All of these shapes, they're whether they have a color to them or not, these are your centers. We all have them. There's 9 of them. They have some different things that they do, but we all have all of them. And if it has a color to it, it means it's defined, it's activated, you broadcast from it. It's a strength for you. And I have 7 of the 9, so I have quite a few. And that might seem like a gift, and it is, and it isn't. There's no, one way is the only good way. There's ups and downs to everything. And the thing is, if you're like me and you have lots of them defined, oh my gosh, you have so many strengths competing for their own chance to lead the charge. And oftentimes I lead with too many of them. And it's just havoc. It's overwhelming to anybody who was reading my stuff. Also, if I'm not picking the one that comes most naturally to me, because even though they're all defined, there's going to be some that, because we've exercised them more throughout our life, it's going to feel an ease to them. It's like the natural thing. Where some of these, I have them, I feel them, and I can turn it on and turn it off, but I felt like I had to learn to do that. Where there's some that it's just effortless. It's really not hard. Like, for example, for me, I'll give you a couple examples here. This is the sacral center, and you think about it as having your generative energy. Easy peasy. Even if I'm exhausted, I can go the extra time. Like, I got it. I totally got it. I can totally do it. Even if it feels like not right timing, but someone told me I had to do it, I totally can do it. I have the energy to do it. I can muster up the energy. I might pay for it later on. I might pay for it in a migraine, or just be totally exhausted, or be bitchy, something like that. But I can get it done. That's something I could always do. Expressing creatively. This is the solar plexus and has your emotions, but it's also the home of creativity. And this has always come very easy for me, but I did have a hang up that I had to work my way through to figure out on mine, is that my creativity doesn't come with words. It does more so now because I've worked on it. And so it was easy for me, but it was hard for me because I thought I had to articulate, because we have all our mind stuff up here. We're all told that we have to articulate it. You have to explain it. And I always struggled with that. So I had this natural, easy, flowing, so effortless strength, but I was conditioned to think I had to use it differently. Once I uncovered that, I started realizing, oh my gosh, this is so easy. It's so easy. I don't even know why people would pay for this. Why would they even want to come work with me? This doesn't feel like work. And so how cool is that when you start to uncover that? So what I have here, what I'm going to be sharing with you is right here. So this is the guide that I give everybody, and then I walk them through. I'll come down to the bottom here. There's something I call the red frequency, and it's about the first thing that people notice about you without you overwhelming them. Because I used to lead with some of those other centers, like the ajna, and it's freaking overwhelming to the person on the other end. I know this because I've talked to people, and I also know I didn't get results. So remember I said the first year was like on LinkedIn, and how I spent a year kind of trying to find myself. Yeah, because I was not leading from the center that's so freaking easy, like this one down here, the emotional solar plexus. I was up here in the mind. And so part of it was conditioning. So I needed to recondition myself to get rid of all of those strategies and all those things so that I could find me. And I was really studying a lot in the centers, and I discovered Jamie L. Palmer. If you're not familiar with her, she teaches and has programs for human design, and I'm a practitioner for one of her reports. It's fantastic. She was talking about something I was discovering on my own, but I didn't have the words for it. Seems familiar, right? I was uncovering, creating, and doing my own thing, yet I couldn't find the words to express it, and she had them. So I snagged up, and I was like, I can't wait to study with her so that I could learn more about this and figure out a way of expressing it so that I can share it with more people. And so we all have this center that is so easy to lead with. And so what I want to share with you is in my report that I go through, so I talk about this as your red frequency, the one. And I give like a percentage. So like for mine, 80% of my content, if I start with the solar plexus. And then I can do a little bit of the ajna because I've worked hard on that. I can do a little bit of that, but it's not the main thing that I lead with. So, and then I created this vibe check bot. So I'm going to do a fun thing. I haven't actually done this one before, so we're doing it live here. We'll see how it turns out. But I've pulled up a post from, this was 10 months ago. So this is August 3rd that I'm filming this in 2025. So it was 10 months ago. I had just really started getting into the reconditioning, dropping every uncoaching so I could recondition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this through the vibe check so you can, let's see what happens here. So this is a bot that I've created that I give everybody who I give the report. Okay, so I'm going to upload my guide and then get it confirmed that that's who I am. Perfect. Solar plexus. Yes, I am gate 22, gate 55. Those are the two that I've really called out for my purpose. And then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to get, whoa, too far down. Going to get my content. And let's check it. Let's see what happens. Ooh, so we have, thank you for sharing this. Let's hold up the light to your solar plexus, your red frequency, and see what glimmers. The post reads clear, relatable, lightly humorous, but it leans more ajna. I'm telling you, that's what I always went with. Your secondary center, logic, internal debate, mental ping pong. The central metaphor, judge and jury, is head-centered. It orients around clarity after thinking. Clarity is felt before you think. So your solar plexus leads from a different place. It doesn't argue with itself. It doesn't tally pros and cons. It feels the shift inside without presenting a case. It's emotional clarity as embodied ease, creative flow sparked by felt sense. So here's where it says, it gives me some lines that those are working. And then it gives a rewrite of it. So let's go through and let's just read it the old way and let's read it the new way and see what shifts within ourselves as we do this. When I get stressed, simple decisions are hard, and the time they suck up can add up. I used to drink a lot of Starbucks when I worked my 9 to 5, but now I work from home. I rarely go there. 1, I can easily make coffee at home. I like what I make. 2, takes less time to make it. Helpful to get work done with work. About 3 to 4 times a month, I'll go to grab one. Usually it's a day I feel stressed. I get torn between going and staying. Go to get out and escape replying to that email. I'm sure probably others have done that. Stay to get typing out a reply just to be done with it. And then thinking about the reasons for each option. Like I'm in court presenting evidence to the jury. Back and forth. Do I? Don't I? Spending 10 to 20 minutes in indecision. Then more time doubting if I made the right choice. Every decision has a before and after that uses time and energy. Have you ever asked yourself how much you were spending at that time? I rarely have a day like this now because I trust myself. Yesterday I felt the urge to get a coffee out. I didn't have to question it because I trusted it. Some call it a gut decision, others say intuition. I think I'm just dialing into myself. I felt the urge, hopped in the car, was back in 15 minutes. It felt good as I sipped my coffee while writing my email for my list. What decisions get you caught up in playing judge and jury? Okay, so that's more ajna. Now let's go through, let's see what it is when it's more solar plexus. Now, again, this is ChatGPT writing it. So I recommend if you're ever doing something with ChatGPT that you actually go through and make it sound like you at the very least, but you can use this as a way of learning, of seeing different perspectives. And that's something that I use ChatGPT for a lot. And I know there's some people, they're just going to use it to put their content out and they don't care that it doesn't sound like them. That's really kind of not the point here. The point here is to help you to see and then go in and to make those edits. So we're going to just read it straight from here. There's a feeling I get before I say yes to something simple, like getting in the car for a coffee. It's not a logical thing. It doesn't always make sense, but it moves me. Yesterday I felt it, a subtle pull, not stress, not escape, more like a shift in the current. I trusted it. Grabbed my keys. 15 minutes later, I was sipping an iced Americano, smiling while writing my email for my list. Years ago, that same decision would have taken me 20 minutes to make. I would have weighed every reason for and against, tried to outthink the feeling, made the coffee, stayed home, and still felt unsettled. Not anymore. Now I know what that feeling means. It's not a craving for indulgence. It's my clarity. It's my creative rhythm. What's one small yes you could trust today? And so the debating happened at a slightly different area in it, and it was worded differently because it was more about years ago I would have done this, and the sentence that really stood out to me that I felt like I would have weighed every reason for and against. That really stood out to me as something that I could feel into because I'm like, oh yeah, know that. Versus this one up here of this back and forth, do I, don't I? That sounds like it's somebody else doing it. Like I can see myself doing it, but there's a little bit of a disconnect. It's not as connected. It doesn't feel in my body. It feels outside in my mind. This feels like it's living in my mind, where the one that it rewrote feels like it's living in my body. And that's my specialty. That is my red frequency. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll repost this one day. You'll see this post. Probably not. But I think really what I wanted to be able to show you is how you can shift, keep the same points, keep the same things that you need to say in the post, because this is all about making your decisions, right? It's all about self-trust. And it's all about that time that gets wasted. Now, there's just different ways that you can write about it. And I guess that's really what I wanted to be able to share with you here. And how you can start thinking about, even if you don't dig human design, you can just think about the different areas, the different energies that you have in your life, and where's the thing that feels so effortless that you almost don't think that anybody would want it from you. And that's probably the thing, if you start incorporating that into your writing, that in the tone of your writing, the angle in which you talk about things, see what happens. Because I know what's happened to me. I have more comments generally, and the comments are people revealing things about them, less just repeating what I'm saying. I get DMs, I get orders, some from people I didn't even know, where in the past I was working mostly from referrals. And I've had a bunch of other opportunities that have come my way that I hadn't even considered ever. And so things like speaking in masterminds and someone approaching me to help them. It's a project that involves writing, and I can't say that much about it, but I've gotten some other offers of things of helping somebody craft what theirs is. And not to mention, I've been doing these reports for other people. So, and the very first human design report that I did, I didn't even ask. They approached me. They're like, I like what you're doing. Can you come? Can you do this? And I was like, I don't know if this is for me. And I said, I would pause. I'm like, but I can do this. Let me see how this goes. And that's what's been happening for me since I've started switching over to this. Little things popping up that I wasn't thinking about, but turns out it's exactly what I want. So pretty cool.